Hello everyone, my name is Bella and I'm a mind-body instructor with UW-Recwell. Today we'll be doing a 45-minute Powerflow class. This is a combination of both yoga and Pilates, so go ahead and grab a mat, grab some water, find a comfortable place with plenty of room to move around. And just so everybody knows, anything that I offer today is simply a suggestion. We'll make sure that we're practicing within our own scope, and if we want to take a child's pose, take a break, grab water at any time, feel free to do so. Okay, so we'll get started on our mats. We'll be sitting in a comfortable cross-legged position. Our hands can rest lightly on the thighs or the knees, wherever it feels more comfortable. We'll draw our eyes to a close as we start to focus on our breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth, letting that go. Inhaling through the nose, open mouth, exhale. Inhaling through the nose, open mouth, exhale. Continuing this breath. Feeling our sit bones root into our mat. Feeling the connection between our bodies and the ground beneath us. Taking another inhale, exhaling out the mouth. Knowing that if thoughts start to wander into our minds throughout class today, we can acknowledge and accept them without any judgment, then kindly send them away as we redirect our focus back to our breath. Releasing tension in the shoulders, yet keeping our spine tall. Imagining we're elongating through the crown of our head as if we could reach the ceiling. Taking one more round of breath here. Exhale, letting that go. We'll gently blink our eyes open, first gazing at the floor beneath us, and then moving our gaze around the room, starting to familiarize ourselves with our environment, our space. And when we're ready, bringing our gaze to the front of the room. From here, we'll plant our hands on the mat in front of us, and then shifting the weight into our palms, so much so that we can come to our knees, finding all fours. We're looking for a straight line from tailbone to crown of the head, activating our core so we're drawing our navel toward our spine to help find that flat back. We'll have a micro bend in the elbows to protect them, shoulders directly over wrists. From here, moving into a few rounds of cat-cow. As we inhale, as if a wave was cascading down our back, we'll move vertebrae by vertebrae, starting to open the heart toward the front of the room. Gazing a few feet in front of our mat. Exhaling, we'll start to round vertebrae by vertebrae, pressing through the palms and through the shoulders. Chin comes to chest, gaze at our navel. We'll inhale, moving slowly and with control, coming to our cow pose, opening the heart. Exhale, rounding through the spine, pressing through the palms, finding our cat pose. We'll take a few more rounds at our own breath and pace, keeping those abdominals engaged to avoid arching the back through our cow pose. That engagement can also help us keep our hips stable as we move with our breath. Taking one more round wherever we are. And as we exhale, we'll meet in our tabletop on all fours, finding that flat back. From here, we'll check in, making sure we still have that core engagement. We'll start to shift the weight into the left palm and lift the right fingertips up toward the front of the room, extending through the arm, straightening, feeling that change in our balance. Once we're feeling stable here, we can stay here, or we have the option to send the left toes behind us, finding a straight line from toes all the way to fingertips. Engaging through the core to help keep the hips stable. finding the length. Our gaze is down at our mat. Taking one more round of breath here. Micro bend in the left elbow. Exhale, gently lowering the right hand and the left knee down to the mat. Excellent job, everyone. And taking it on the other side, we'll engage that core, checking in, and we'll start to shift the weight into our right palm. As we inhale, we'll lift the left fingertips off the mat, sending them toward the front of the room. Feeling that shift and change in our balance and adjusting as necessary. And we can stay here, or if we'd like, for an increased balance challenge, we can send the right toes behind us, finding that straight line from toes all the way to fingertips. Gaze is down at our mat. Micro bend in the right elbow. Hips remain squared. Taking 2 more rounds of breath here. Everyone is doing amazing. And exhale, we'll slowly bring the left hand and right knee down to our mat, finding all fours. From here, we'll sit our tailbone down onto our heels, taking a quick modified hero's pose, bringing those hands onto our thighs, lifting the chest, finding a flat back. Taking 1 round of breath here. As we exhale, shifting the weight onto our left hip and bringing those legs to face the front of the room. Finding ourselves in the middle of our mat, bending at the knees and planting the feet. When we're ready, we'll send our arms extended in front of us and activate our core as we slowly lower down to our backs. Moving with control. Releasing once we find the mat beneath us. Taking a breath here. We'll once again activate that core, feeling those abdominals engage. And we'll then keep our arms at our sides with our palms facing down. And we'll inhale as we lift the right leg off of the mat, keeping the knee bent, pointing through our toes, bringing the knee parallel to the hip. As we exhale, bringing the toe back to the mat. We'll inhale as we lift the left toe off the mat, bringing that knee to be parallel with our hip. Exhale as we lower. Continuing this motion, using our core to help us lift. Moving slowly and with control as we continue to awaken the abdominals. Taking 1 more round of breath on either side, making sure we even ourselves out. As we exhale, we'll return both feet, planting them on the mat. When we're ready, we'll check in with that core, finding that engagement. And as we inhale, we'll lift the left toes off the mat, bringing the knee directly over the hip, and then bringing those right toes to meet the left. Hovering our knees into the air. Once we feel stable here, exhaling all the air out. And as we inhale, we'll lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Exhaling as we lift the arms, extending them toward the front of the room, bringing them to hover just a few inches off the mat. Moving into our 100 Pilates exercise. As we inhale, we'll pump the arms for 5. And exhale as we pump for 5. Inhaling and exhaling. Using our core to keep our shoulders, our neck, and head lifted off the mat. Pumping quickly and keeping those knees directly over the hips. Feeling our low back press into the mat. Taking 1 more round of breath here. We'll inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. And release, lowering the head, neck, and shoulders, and lowering the feet to the mat. Excellent effort, everyone. Taking a breath here. Whenever we're ready, we'll send our arms tall toward the ceiling, bringing them to a 45-degree angle between the floor and the ceiling. Taking a modified Pilates roll up. As we inhale, we'll activate that core and start to lift off of our mat, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders, moving vertebrae by vertebrae, maybe using a hand to help us through our sticky spot. So we come up to a seated pose, exhaling here. We can relax our arms at our sides, cross our legs, We'll plant those hands on the mat in front of us and shift the weight into our palms so that we can come onto all fours once again. From here, we'll tuck our toes and shift our tailbone up and back, finding our downward facing dog. We're looking for a straight line from our wrists all the way to tailbone. Our gaze is at our feet. Our heels are lifted. And it's always okay to take a generous bend in the hamstrings, as this is our first down dog of class. Stretching through the shoulders as we press into our thumb and index finger, drawing the chest toward the thighs. On our next inhale, we'll gaze at our hands at the top of the mat. And exhale as we walk the feet to travel there, finding our forward fold, rounding at the spine, relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. Once again, always an option to take that generous bend in the knees if our hamstrings are feeling tight. Knowing it's always okay if the hands do not reach the floor. On our next inhale, we'll find our spine extension, hinging at the hips, finding a flat back, bringing our back to be parallel with our mat. Bringing our hands to rest lightly on our thighs. We can stay here, or we have the option to extend our arms out to either side, taking our airplane variation. This is increasing the work through our shoulders and core. Taking whichever feels better for us today. Taking whichever practice feels better in our bodies. Inhaling here. Exhale, we'll round forward, relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders, taking that forward fold. On our next inhale, we'll reverse swan dive up, sweeping the arms up the sides, bend through the knees, hinge at the hips with a flat back, bringing those arms all the way up, finding our mountain pose, connecting the palms at the top. Exhaling, drawing those hands to heart center. We'll inhale, reaching those arms high, connecting the palms at the top. And exhale, bringing those hands to heart center. Once more, we'll inhale, reaching those arms high. Exhale, swan dive down, sweeping those arms at the sides, hinging at the hips with that flat back, and rounding into our forward fold. We'll inhale back to our spine extension, finding that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. From here, we'll bend the knees as much as needed to firmly plant the hands on the mat, and then stepping our left foot and then our right foot behind us, finding our plank. Shoulders directly over wrists, straight line from shoulders to heels. Always an option to lower one or both knees to decrease the intensity in the shoulders and core. We can spread those fingertips wide into starfish hands for a better support. Feeling the engagement in our shoulders, our core, our legs, working all of our muscles. Staring down at the mat below, keeping our neck long, taking an inhale here. And as we exhale, tucking the elbows into the sides as we lower the body as a unit, bringing the chest down to the mat, exhaling once we get there. On our next inhale, we'll draw our belly button toward our spine, activating that core and almost feeling that belly button lift off the mat. As we exhale, we'll open up into modified cobra, lifting the heart toward the front of the room, gazing a few inches in front of our mat, rolling the shoulders down and back to help us lift. We're keeping our abdominals engaged to avoid having too much of an arch in our low back. We're keeping the weight light in our fingertips, so much so that maybe we can check and see if we can hover them off the mat. Taking one more round of breath here. Exhale, lowering the chest down. Releasing that work. Awesome job, everyone. From here, we'll send those arms long in front of us. As we move into our Pilates swimmers, we'll once again check in with our core engagement, bringing that navel toward our spine. And as we exhale, we'll lift the left hand and right toes a few inches off the mat as we gaze down at the mat. We'll inhale as we lower. We'll exhale, lifting the right hand and the left toes off the mat. Inhale as we lower. Continuing this motion at our own breath and pace. If we'd like to take this at a quicker pace, we can lift both hands and both toes, stay hovered, and continue to flutter, alternating hand and leg. So taking whichever option we'd like today. Going for one more round of breath here. evening out those sides. And exhale, lowering everything down to the mat. We'll draw our hands onto either side of our ribcage, planting the palm on the mat. We'll press through those palms, coming onto all fours. And then tucking those toes as we shift the tailbone up and back, finding our downward facing dog. Finding that straight line from wrist all the way to tailbone, lifting those heels, gazing at our feet. On our next inhale, we will lift the right toes high into our three-legged dog, flexing through the left foot, straightening the right foot, straightening the right leg, keeping those hips square to the mat. As we exhale, we'll draw the right knee into our chest, hovering here, and then planting the right foot on the mat between our hands at the top, finding our low lunge. We'll inhale as we start to lift the chest off of the right thigh, and exhale as we come all the way up to our crescent lunge on the right side. We're bending through the right knee, stacking the right knee over the right ankle. Finding a comfortable bend there, we're lifting our back left heel off of the mat. Our hips are squared to the front of the room. And we're feeling free to take a bend in this back left leg if it helps us to find a tall and elongated spine. Whenever we're ready, we can bring those hands to heart center, or we can send them up overhead while keeping the shoulders relaxed. So taking those options here, using our quadricep muscle to help us with strength and stability. Taking one more breath here. And we have the option to stay here, or if we'd like to flow with the arms, as we exhale all our air out, we'll inhale, sweeping the arms behind us, bringing them up to the ceiling. Exhale, drawing hands to heart center. We'll inhale, sweeping the arms behind us, circling up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking this at our own breath and pace. Bringing some movement into a stable pose. Making sure we're keeping our hips squared and maintaining that bend in the front right leg. Taking one more round of breath here. Inhaling and exhaling those hands to heart center. From here, we'll draw those hands to our hips and we'll open the hips toward the left side of the room, planting the back left toes on the back left heel on the mat, bringing the back left foot parallel with the edge of the mat. We'll maintain that bend in the front right knee and square those hips off toward the left side of the room. Taking our warrior two pose. Once we're set up here, we can bring those hands to heart center, or to increase some of that intensity through the muscles in our arms, we can send the arms out to either side of the room, gazing over those right fingertips. Keeping those arms strong, yet our shoulders relaxed. Continuing to feel the work through the right quadricep. Taking a few breaths here. Now we have the option to stay here, or if we'd like to flow, as we inhale, we'll lift the arms toward the ceiling, bringing the palms to face each other, and straighten through the right leg. We'll exhale, flipping the palms away from each other, bending back into that right knee, coming back to warrior two. We'll inhale, reaching tall, straightening through the legs. Exhale, sinking into that warrior two. Inhaling and exhaling, continuing at our own breath here. Finding movement as we continue to work through the strength of our quadricep, building that strength. Taking one more round of breath here, we'll inhale and exhale, returning to that warrior two. From here, we'll bring our hands to our hips, straightening through the right leg. We'll turn the left heel in and then keeping the left toes out, straightening through both legs. Taking our sunflower pose. As we inhale, we'll reach our arms out to the sides, bringing them to goalpost arms. As we exhale, we'll sink down, bending through the knees, squatting down. We'll hinge at the hips, sweeping the arms to brush the ground, giving ourselves a hug. We'll inhale, sweeping outward, lifting up, straightening through the legs. Exhale, sinking down, sweeping the ground, giving ourselves a hug. We'll inhale Exhale, keeping that flat back. Moving with our breath. Continuing this work through our thighs, working our inner thigh muscles. Taking one more round of breath here. As we inhale, we'll straighten through the legs, bringing those hands back to our hips. We'll turn the right toes to face the front of the room and bring those left toes parallel to our mat, finding that warrior two once again, making that T shape through our feet. We can send those arms out long to either side. As we inhale, we'll reach the right fingertips a few inches in front of us. Exhale, we'll flip to have the right palm face the ceiling, sending the right palm up and back, taking our reverse warrior. Our left hand can rest lightly on our back thigh. Our gaze is under our right arm, finding a gentle stretch in our right side body as we maintain the bend through the right knee. We'll inhale here. Exhale, we'll draw the hands toward our hips, coming back to our warrior two. From here, we'll pivot, turning the hips to face the front of the room, lifting the back left heel, finding our crescent warrior. We'll inhale, floating those arms high to the ceiling. Exhale as we float them down to frame the foot, finding our low lunge. From here, we'll step our right foot back, coming to our plank. Option to lower one or both knees. We'll inhale as we tuck the elbows into the sides, lowering the body as a unit. Exhale once the chest meets the mat. We'll inhale, drawing our navel to spine. Exhale, peeling up for our baby cobra. Rolling the shoulders up and back, lifting the heart. And exhale, lowering the chest to the mat. From here, we'll send our arms long in front of us, taking our swimmers. We'll inhale, activating, drawing that navel to spine. Exhale, lifting the left hand, right toes off the mat. Inhale as we lower. Exhale, lifting right hand, left toes. Inhale, lower. Taking a few rounds on our own here. Keeping that core engagement. Taking one more round of breath, evening out our sides. Exhale, lower everything down. We'll draw the hands, planting the palms on either side of our ribcage. We'll press through, finding all fours. And then tucking our toes, shifting the tailbone up and back, finding our downward dog. Taking a breath here, stretching through the hamstrings. When we're ready, as we inhale, we'll gaze at our hands at the top of the mat. Exhale, we'll walk the feet to travel there, finding our forward fold. We'll inhale to our halfway lift, finding that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. From here, we'll check in, making sure our feet are about hip-width distance apart. As we inhale, we'll send the tailbone down and back as we lift the heart to face the front of the room. Drawing those hands heart center, we'll find our chair pose. We're looking for a straight line from tailbone to crown of the head. We can check in, making sure we have that by bringing our hands to our hips and tucking our pelvis under. Maybe feeling a change, that lift in our chest. Feeling this work through our quadricep muscles. Our weight is distributed in the middle of our foot. Hands are at heart center, or if we'd like, we can bring them up overhead while keeping those shoulders relaxed. We have the option to stay here and continue to work on our chair, or if we'd like an increased muscular challenge for our quadricep muscles, we'll inhale as we lower 2 inches. Exhale as we lift 2 inches. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale and exhale. Moving slowly and with control, using our hamstrings and glute muscles, as well as those quadriceps. Taking one more round of breath here. Exhaling, coming back to that chair. Amazing, everyone. Taking an inhale. And exhale, we'll round through heart center, finding our forward fold. We'll inhale to that spine extension, finding that flat back. Exhale, rounding into forward fold. We will bend the knees, so much so that we can plant the hands on the mat and step our left foot, and then followed by the right, taking our plank. Option to lower one or both knees as we untuck the toes. We'll inhale as we tuck the elbows into our sides, lowering the chest down to the mat. Exhale once we reach the mat, We'll inhale, drawing our navel to spine. Exhale, baby cobra, lifting the heart. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, lowering the chest back to the mat. We'll send those arms long in front of us, taking our swimmers. We'll inhale, drawing the navel to spine. Exhale, as we lift the left hand and right toes off the mat. Inhale to lower. Exhale, right hand, left toes. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Taking a few more rounds of breath here. Taking an inhale here. And exhale, lowering everything down to the mat. We'll draw those hands, planting the palms on either side of the ribcage, pressing through the hands, finding ourselves on all fours, and tucking those toes, shifting the tailbone up and back, finding our downward dog. From here, we'll inhale as we lift the left toes high to three-legged dog, extended through the left leg, flexing the left foot, keeping those hips square to the mat. We'll exhale as we draw the left knee into the chest, hovering here, and planting the left foot between our hands at the top of the mat, finding our low lunge. We'll inhale as we start to lift the chest off the left thigh. Exhale as we come all the way up to our crescent lunge on the left side. Getting set up here, we'll make sure our knee is directly over the ankle. Taking a comfortable bend here. Our hips are square to the front of the room, finding that straight line through our spine. And if we'd like, we can bring those hands to heart center or extend them overhead. Taking whichever variation we'd like, maybe changing it up from last time. Coming back to our breath here. Feeling the engagement through the left quadricep. Taking one more round of breath here. Exhaling. We have the option to stay here, or if we'd like to flow with the arms, we'll inhale, sweeping those arms behind us. Exhale, drawing hands to heart center. We'll inhale, sweeping the arms behind, reaching for the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking this at our own breath and pace. Matching breath with movement. Taking one more round here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Here, we'll draw those hands to our hips. We'll open the hips toward the right side of the room, flattening our right heel, planting the whole right foot on the mat. We're bringing that right foot to be parallel with the edge of our mat, making that T shape with our feet, aligning left heel with the middle of our right foot, squaring those hips off to the right side, taking that warrior two. We have that option to bring the hands to heart center, or to increase the intensity in the muscles in our arms, we can send the arms out long to either side of the room as we gaze over the left fingertips. We're maintaining the bend through the left knee. Finding the strength within ourselves by using our breath. We have the option to stay here, or if we'd like to take that flow, as we inhale, we'll bring the palms to face each other, reaching high, straightening through the left leg. Exhale, sink it back down to warrior two. We'll inhale to rise. Exhale, bending through the knee. Inhaling, exhaling. Moving at our own breath and pace. Bringing that movement to continue to build the muscle through our quadriceps. Taking one more round of breath here as we inhale and exhale, coming back to warrior two. From here, we'll draw those hands to our hips, straightening through the left leg, turning the right heel in, keeping the toes out. So we have both heels in and both toes out. Taking our goddess pose. We'll inhale as we sweep the arms open to a goal post. Exhale, bending through the knees, hinging at the hips, sweeping, brushing the ground beneath us, giving ourselves that hug. We'll inhale as we open the arms, bringing that goal post, straightening through the legs. Exhale as we sink, hinge, sweep for the ground. We'll inhale and exhale. Inhaling. And exhale. Take one more round of breath here. We'll inhale. And exhale, sweeping for that ground, giving ourselves that hug. We'll inhale, reaching tall, bringing those hands back to our hips. We'll return to our warrior two. So bringing that right foot to be parallel with the back edge of our mat, turning those left toes toward the front of the room, bending through that left knee, adjusting our stance maybe a little wider as needed. From here, we'll send those arms out to either side of the room. We'll inhale as we reach the left fingertips forward a few inches. Exhale as we flip the left palm, sending it over and back, taking our reverse warrior. The right hand rests lightly on the back thigh. Our gaze is under the left arm, toward the ceiling. Maintaining the bend through the left knee. And feeling that gentle stretch through our left side body. Taking one more round of breath here. Exhale, bringing those hands back toward our hips, finding our warrior two. We'll pivot the hips to face the front of the room, taking our crescent lunge. We'll inhale as we float the arms high. Exhale, floating them down to frame the foot on our mat. We'll step the left foot back, finding our plank, option to lower one or both knees. We'll inhale as we tuck the elbows into the sides, lowering the body down. Exhale once the chest meets the mat. We'll inhale, drawing the elbow to spine, activating the core. Exhale, baby cobra. We'll inhale here. Exhale, lowering down. We'll send those arms long in front of us, gaze down at our mat. We'll inhale, activating the core. Exhale to lift the right hand and left toes off the mat. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lifting left hand, right toes. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Taking this at our own breath and pace for a few more breaths. We've been here before. Taking one more round here. Exhale, lowering everything down to the mat. We'll bring those hands to either side of the ribcage, palms facing the mat. We'll press through onto all fours, and then tucking the toes, shifting the tailbone up and back, finding our downward dog. Taking a breath here. On our next inhale, we'll reach the right toes high, finding that three-legged dog, squaring the hips to the mat. Exhale, drawing the knee into our chest, planting the right toes in between our hands, finding our low lunge. We'll inhale to start to lift the chest off of the right thigh. Exhale as we come all the way up to our crescent on the right side. From here, we'll shorten the distance between the feet, so stepping that left foot closer to the right, keeping about 2 feet of distance between them. We'll start to shift all of our weight into our right foot. Starting to find stability, we'll activate our core, engaging our abdominals, and find a spot in the room to help us balance. When we're ready, we'll start to lift the left toes off of the mat, hinging at the hips, aiming to bring the body parallel to the mat, finding a straight line from toes to crown of the head. Now from here, we can bring our hands to heart center, or send them long directly in front of us, taking our warrior three. Taking those options if we want more intensity in our arms or not. It's okay if our body is not horizontal to the mat. We'll tilt as much as we can while keeping our body straight from toe to crown of the head. Taking one more breath here, micro bend in our standing leg. Exhale, we'll gently come back to standing, stepping those left toes behind the right. Releasing that work. We'll bring those hands back to our hips. We can readjust our stance if needed. Keeping both feet planted on the mat, toes facing the front of the room. Taking a pyramid pose, we'll elongate through the spine and activate the core, taking a micro bend in our front right knee. As we exhale, we'll hinge at the hips with a flat back, over the right thigh. And when we can't hinge anymore, we can round over the right leg, reaching for the ground, relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. We can always reach for the ankle or the thigh if the ground is not accessible. Feeling that stretch through the right hamstring as we round through the spine. Taking one more breath here. We'll exhale, bringing those hands back to our hips. We'll hinge back up to standing with that flat back, moving with control. When we get there, we'll step the left foot up to meet the right. We'll inhale to our extended mountain, reaching those arms high, connecting palms to the top. Exhale, sweeping the arms out, hinging at the hips, bending through the knees, rounding into forward fold. From here, keeping the weight strong through our palms, we'll step the right and the left toes back to a downward dog. Taking a breath here. Whenever we're ready, we'll lower our forearms down to the mat, keeping our legs where they are, or possibly walking them a bit closer to our elbows as we take a more generous bend through the knees, finding our dolphin pose. Our gaze remains at our feet and the heels remain lifted. We're pressing into the forearms, lifting through the shoulders to keep them activated. Feeling a stretch through our hamstrings. Our head is lifted off the mat just an inch or two. We'll take one more breath here. And exhale, we'll gently lift back onto our palms, finding our down dog. Taking a breath here. Whenever we're ready, we'll lift the left toes high into three-legged dog. Exhale, so we draw the left knee into the chest and plant the left foot on the mat between our hands, finding our low lunge. We'll inhale as we start to lift the chest off of the left thigh. Exhale as we come all the way up to our crescent lunge on the left side. Finding that bend through the left knee stacked over left ankle. Our back right heel is lifted, hips squared to the front of the room. From here, we'll shorten that distance between our feet, bringing the right foot closer to the left, about 2 feet between. We'll start to shift the weight into the left toes. Feeling that core engagement, finding that spot in the room to help us again. We'll lift the right toes off the mat as we find our warrior 3 on the left side. Bringing the body, aiming to be horizontal with our mat, knowing it's okay if we don't make it there. Bringing those hands to heart center. We're sending them long in front of us, increasing that intensity in our shoulders. Micro bend in the standing left knee, keeping those hips square to the mat. Continuing to work with our breath here, taking one more round. And exhale, bringing those hands to our hips as we gently come back to standing, stepping the right toes behind the left. We can adjust that stance as needed, bringing it back to 2 feet between our feet. Taking our pyramid pose, we'll find a micro bend in the front left knee. We'll elongate through the spine and activate the core. And as we exhale, we'll hinge at the hips with a flat back. When we can't hinge anymore, we can round at the spine, reaching for the floor over our left thigh. Relaxing that head, neck, and shoulders. Feeling that stretch through the left hamstring. Always knowing we can reach for the ankle or the thigh if the floor is not accessible to us. Releasing some of the work through our legs. Taking one more round of breath here. As we exhale, drawing those hands back to our hips, hinging with a flat back, coming all the way back up to standing. From here, we'll step the right toes up to meet the left. We'll inhale, reaching those arms high to mountain. Exhale, sweeping the arms out to the sides, hinging, finding our forward fold, and bringing the weight into our palms so we can step back to our down dog. Taking our second round of our dolphin pose. Whenever we're ready, we'll lower the forearms onto the mat, adjusting our feet as needed, maybe walking them a little closer to our elbows. Taking a bend in the knees if we'd like. Head is lifted a few inches off the mat, pressing through the forearms and the shoulders. Taking one more round of breath here. And exhale, coming back up to our down dog. Letting that work go. From here, we'll gently lower onto our knees, finding all fours. Taking a breath here. From here, we'll sit our tailbone down onto our heels, bringing those hands to our thighs, taking our modified hero's pose. We'll shift the weight into the left hip and bring those legs around us to face the front of the room. We'll bring our legs out wide, bringing them a little bit wider than hip distance, extending through the legs and flexing at the feet. If this is uncomfortable in our hamstrings, we can always take a micro bend through the knees. From here, we'll inhale as we activate the core and elongate through the spine all the way to the crown of the head. We'll send those arms out to either side of the room. And as we inhale, we'll use our abdominals to twist toward the left side of the room, finding a double pulse when we can't twist anymore. We'll exhale as we come back to center. We'll inhale, moving toward the right side, finding that double pulse. Exhale, back to center. Moving with our breath, using those abdominals to help us twist and pulse. Keeping long through the spine. Taking one more round of breath here, evening out our sides. Exhaling, taking a moment, releasing those arms when we get there. On our next inhale, we'll send them out to the sides once again. Taking our saw, we'll activate that core, and as we inhale, twisting toward the left side of the room. Exhaling as we reach our little finger to little toe, rounding forward. We'll inhale as we unwind. Exhale, coming back to center. We'll inhale, twisting toward the right side. Exhale, reaching little finger to little toe. Inhale, coming back up to seated. Exhale, back to center. Taking a few rounds here, using our core to help us lift and twist. Continuing to move with our breath. Taking one more round here, evening out those sides. And exhale, lowering those arms down. We'll bring our legs to touch, extending them long in front of us. From here, we'll bend through the right knee, planting the right foot on the mat. We'll plant the right arm behind our glute, and we'll wrap the left arm around the right knee. Inhaling as we elongate through the spine, and exhaling as we twist toward the right side, gazing over our right shoulder if it feels comfortable on our neck. Our seated spinal twist. If we'd like a deeper stretch, we can bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Taking one more round of breath here. And exhale, unhooking that elbow, coming back to center, taking this on the other side. We'll bend through the left knee, planting the left toes on the mat, placing that left palm on the ground behind us, wrapping the right arm around the left knee. Inhale to elongate, exhale to twist toward the left side, gazing over the left shoulder if it feels okay in our neck. Feeling that stretch, that twist through the spine, releasing some of the tension in those spinal muscles. If we'd like to take this deeper, we can hook the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Continuing to breathe. Taking an inhale. And exhale, unhooking the elbow, slowly twisting back to center. From here, we'll bring both heels to touch as we turn the knees out to either side of the room, finding our butterfly pose. We'll only drawing those heels as close as we can to the midline of our body without feeling any pain or discomfort, and making sure we're not hunching through our back. We want to keep our spine tall and elongated. You should feel a gentle stretch through the inner thighs. Maybe releasing some of that tension from those sunflower poses. Maybe starting to feel grounded again. Feeling as we did in the beginning of class. Coming back to that slow breath. Taking one more round of breath here. And we'll exhale. We'll send those legs long in front of us once more. Taking a seated forward fold. We'll inhale as we elongate through the spine. Exhale as we walk the fingertips, hinging at the hips. When we can't hinge anymore with a flat back, we can round over the legs, taking our seated forward fold. Always an option to take a bend through the knees if this is tight in our hamstrings. Feeling the stretch through our hamstrings. Relaxing the head and neck. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, walking the fingertips back up to seated. We'll send those fingertips in front of us. Activate the core as we lower down to our mat with control. Releasing everything when we get there, palms facing up, letting the toes splay out. Taking our final Shavasana. Letting everything go. Releasing the tension through the shoulders. Removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Closing the eyes. Elongating through the neck. Taking a few moments for ourselves here as we start to come back to our breath. Inhaling through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhaling through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Taking a few more breaths on our own. Knowing that if thoughts start to wander into our minds, we can acknowledge and accept them and kindly redirect our attention back to our breath as we send those thoughts away. Shavasana will be here for as long as everyone would like. This is where I will leave everyone. I thank everyone for joining today, for coming to our mats and practicing together.